As winter approaches, the days are starting to get cooler, the nights are cooler. We're having a little more storms, a little more rain. We've had a little snow in the mountains already. This is September. And usually here in Central Oregon, we start getting cooler temperatures. We've had snow in October. And it's time to start thinking about winterizing the coop. Now, chickens can take a lot of cold, and they can take cold for long periods of time. After they've gone through their molt, they've had all their nutritional extra vitamins and minerals, extra protein to grow their feathers back. It takes 80 to 85% protein to grow their feathers back. So you want to make sure you have plenty of protein for them, and vitamins and minerals. But even after they have molted and they have grown back all their feathers, new pin feathers to help keep them warmer, they'll keep growing a few more feathers as the winter comes. So they'll have plenty of warmth for the winter. They don't need a lot of heat lamps or anything special. Just a nice warm coop that has no drafts, has no wind. I have a door on mine so that in the wintertime, if the winds start to get really severe and the snow is blowing pretty heavy, I can open it up. My eaves are open. At the top, you can see that my eaves are open, so there's plenty of ventilation. Even when the door is closed, they still have plenty of ventilation. I have a socket at the top of my eaves inside, so I can put a heat lamp if we have too cold a winter. We've had winters to where we've had 15 below zero. That's when they're going to need a little bit of extra heat. Not really hot, but just a little warmer to keep their coop at least at 30 degrees or above. I also insulated it, but you don't need to. It all depends on where you're living on your coop. I made mine small enough that their body heat would help keep them warm. In the wintertime, when it snows, I come out here and I remove the snow from the front of the chicken coop to this little building here and just beyond it. And I also put their water and their food inside the building. It helps keep the water from freezing solid hard. I put a softball or a tennis ball in there to allow it to move around as they're drinking, and they'll even play with the ball a little bit. So that'll also help keep the ice off of the tops of the water and help keep the water. I change the water pretty often during the day so that it's not really cold, it's a little warm. It's not hot water, it's just lukewarm, just enough to keep it warm. Hot water will freeze fast in the wintertime. So you just want to keep it kind of a room temperature warm. You can, it all depends on how large your water container is, that you can put it in a house and like a gallon bucket or a 2-gallon bucket or whatever your tank holds, and or how many chickens you have for your water. You can put it inside the coop so that it'll help keep it from freezing too fast. So if it's at room temperature, it should not freeze very fast. But you check on it, put a little ball in there so they will peck at the ball and stuff and keep the ball bouncing around the water to keep some of the ice off. There's different ways. There's water troughs that are heated with electricity. I don't have electricity out here to my coop. I have solar panels, and that's what I use to for the light. Keep it. It's not a real heat lamp. It's just a light that puts out a little bit of warmth, so it helps to keep the coop just a little bit warmer. I make sure that there's not a lot of wind that can blow through here. If the wind starts blowing too heavy, I block the door with plastic covering, clear plastic, so where it has a little bit, it's not the whole length of the door, it just at the, to where they can get in, and it just kind of deters some of the wind from blowing through. This little building here also helps kind of keep the wind from blowing through, so they can come in there, under there, and get warm. It's also dry. I do need to put some new tar paper and plywood up there. It's been a few years. And so it keeps it a little drier. They can go into the coop. I put straw on the floor so that they can go in the coop and keep their feet warm. Now these chickens that have feathers on their feet, that will help keep their feet warm. You have to check and make sure that they're not getting a lot of moisture on those feathers and that they're causing any frostbite on their feet. Chickens are going to need a little more nutrition for the winter as well. They're going to need like a few bugs. You can give them mealworms. They also have several different type of packages that have different worms, crickets, and different things like that in it. A little corn would help. Cracked corn. Whole corn is a little harder to digest, so cracked corn is the better to digest. And a little bit of salad greens like cabbage or kale, spinach, iceberg lettuce will help. A little fruit, a little apples or pears will also help. It'll give them something to scratch for, like the insects. If I put the bugs, the mealworms in the bottom of the chicken house, it causes them to scratch around, and they will now that's where she roosts at night, up there, way up in the top of the tree. He is not capable of doing that, and she can get away from him. But the mealworms in the bottom of the coop will help them scratch around and move around and help to keep them warm. That also stimulates the blood circulation in their body, as long as keep them moving, keep them a little warmer. Herbs like oregano, basil, lavender is also good for them during the winter months. The lavender will help. You can put essential oils like essential oil lavender in their nest, so while they're nesting, it will help calm them down and relax. That's the rooster. Also, the oregano is an antibiotic, so it will also help keep them from getting sick, keep their immune system up. There are so many different types of things that you can do to help keep your chickens healthy during the winter and keep them warm. If it stays cold for several days, like we have had 10 to 15 below zero for like 3 to 4 days at a time, and that's when you're going to want to put maybe a heating pad inside your coop, or some kind of a little more straw in the bottom of their coop, a little more straw in their nesting boxes, because they will go in their nesting boxes to warm up, and that will help insulate them and warm them up a little bit more. So when you want to think about this time of the year to start winterizing your chicken coop and making sure that your chickens are healthy for the winter. And your turkeys. We'll have a video on turkeys too. And we'll have a video on ducks. This one here, she has decided that this is where she wants to be. It's away from the boys. She doesn't want to be around the boys right now. She does have a male that comes up here and talks to her, and she talks to him. So she can fly out of this pen. It's not like she's trapped. She flew in and she can fly out, and she knows it. So when she's ready to go out, she will go out. But right now, she's not. And she's laying. She gives me an egg a day in the nest every day. You come to talk? You come to visit? Silly turkey. Yeah. You're a silly turkey. So that's just a little bit of information on winterizing your chicken coop and how to keep your chickens a little healthier during the cold months of the year. And we'll also have a video later on how to get them prepared for laying in the spring. I didn't mean to scare you. I just was going to put my hand out there. Okay. All right. I don't have anything for you. Yeah. Please subscribe. Push the notification bell every time you are notified. Every time we do a video. Please make a comment. Push the like button. I do like to hear from my subscribers, so please do make comments. And I read the comments. I don't have very many comments right now, but I do read the ones that I do get, and I always reply to them. So please subscribe. Please push the notification bell. Make a comment. Push the like or not like button. And we will catch you on the flip side.